Hello everyone, welcome to the preview for the game against FC Twente in the Europa League at Old Trafford. We kick off our campaign against a team very close to Erik ten Hag's heart, a team he played for and coached in his early days. So there's a romantic story in there somewhere. Hopefully we can kind of break up that romantic story and score a lot of goals and basically smash him. But I'm not quite sure that's how the game's going to go. Unfortunately, Sam, we're going to have to cast our minds back because it is the start of the Europa League campaign. We're going to have to cast our minds back to last year in Europe, just to give a little bit of perspective. So I was going back through it before.
Do we have to?
Just to see where we're at and kind of have we come far and all that kind of stuff. So lost to Bayern Munich 4-3, lost to Galatasaray 3-2, beat Copenhagen 1-0, but needed a penalty save for that, didn't we, from Andre Onana. Lost 4-3 in the reverse fixture, drew away from home against Galatasaray despite going 2 goals up again, and then lost to Bayern Munich 1-0 at home in the last game, which left us bottom of the table on 4 points, below Copenhagen and below Galatasaray, and we conceded around 16 goals. And when you talk about mistakes, Sam, Onana's mistake for the Sane goal, the 2 free kicks from Ziyech, the pass for Casemiro, which got him sent off, and I'm sure there's many more that I can't remember off the top of my head, and all the cutbacks that we conceded as well. It was an absolute fucking nightmare, and the reason why I say that, and the reason why I start off with that, is because quite simply, we cannot have another campaign like that again, can we?
No, and I think if you take the Onana mistakes away, we took it to quite a few of those teams. Scored quite a lot of goals. Bayern, scored 3 goals at Bayern?
Well, 4-3 it was, but I think we scored. Casemiro scored a couple, didn't it?
I'm saying, we scored a lot of goals. Copenhagen was 4-3 as well. So we scored a bunch of goals there. Galatasaray won. We were 2-0 up at one point, I believe.
Yeah, Garnacho and Bruno scored. Bruno scored a banger, didn't it?
So we were controlling all those games, and we were winning those games easily. And then just mistakes after mistake after mistake just kind of put it in the bin for us. So I don't think we were shit in any of those games. It was just we absolutely capitulated with mistakes. That was the issue. I think going forward, we seemed all right. In my eyes, we seemed okay. But just obviously
defensively
shocking. But now we've got the other problem this year, haven't we? Defensively, we look quite good, but our forwards are not really clicking or scoring.
But that's the rule by now. You should know that we can't have the best of both worlds. It's always one or the other. In terms of individuals on both ends of the spectrum, we kind of had Rasmus who lit the group stage up, didn't we? He scored 5 goals and was top scorer for a bit alongside Morata, I think it was. And then at the opposite end of the pitch, you had Onana who made so many mistakes. I mean, I still remember that Ziyech one like it was yesterday, the 2 free kicks, and I'm sat there and I'm like, very rare when I'm speechless, especially when I'm on the channel. And when I was watching it at the time, I was like, I can't believe what has gone on here. It's crazy. So to even think remotely that could happen again with the mistakes, I hope it doesn't. But yeah, I'm sure we've come on leaps and bounds since then. So I'd expect a pretty comfortable performance against FC Twente. Which individual do you think will take the competition by storm this season? I referenced Højlund there, who got the goals. Who do you think can light it up?
I think he looked good in the Champions League last year. Obviously got the goals and stuff, but I think Xerxes looked really, really good with his link-up play and stuff. And did Bologna play in the Europa League last year, or was it the conference one?
Yeah, well, they got Champions League for the first time with Xerxes and Dinger. So I don't even know if he was in any European competitions, to be honest with you.
Maybe not. But I think he could be really integral. So obviously, De Ligt and Mazraoui used to play in the Champions League. Did we face them? Either one of them when we played them?
Bayern Munich? Good question.
Were they injured at the time?
I can't remember him being at the back. I remember Upamecano.
Kim. I remember Kim Min-jae.
And Kim Min-jae, potentially, yeah. I don't remember De Ligt playing against us.
So they obviously used to play in Champions League, but I imagine Europa League will be a cakewalk for them. It's not as high pressure and stuff like that. Onana's obviously used to the Champions League, but again, we've spoke about his exploits last year. So I think there's a couple of players in there who will do extremely, extremely well. I'm really interested to see how Xerxes works out in sort of European nights, because I haven't got to see that yet. Because if you're saying Bologna weren't in a European competition last year, I'd be interested to see how that goes. But I think De Ligt and Mazraoui will step up, because I think nights like European competitions, I think players like that tend to sort of take that 0.2% bit more effort, bit more sort of like get into stuff. So yeah, I think they'd be the three I'd pick out.
Yeah, I'm going to go weirdly enough for Casemiro because I think the pressure's been taken off him slightly in terms of Ugarte coming in, and I think he will play alongside Ugarte quite a lot in Europe, so that would allow him to be a bit more free. And I think he'll have some decent cameos in Europa League. I'm hoping so anyway because I haven't written him off as a player. I just don't like him in that six. I just think he's way too error prone.
Yeah.
So when he's higher up the pitch, I think it's not as bad, but. Yeah, I think there's a couple. Hopefully, Højlund gets back into kind of a scoring run and can carry that over to the league form as well. Did you see enough against Palace over on the weekend to get a convincing win in the start of our campaign?
I think we could, like, we're at home, and again, I will not pretend I watched the Eredivisie at any point, so I have no idea how FC Twente play. I don't know how good they are. I couldn't pick out a player for you, to be honest with you. So it's all about United and like how we perform. Obviously, Erik ten Hag is a very, very good cup manager, a very good sort of tournament manager. So you'd expect him to do well in the Europa League. Obviously the Champions League side, but it's like what, 3 finals in 2 years we've got to, and he's won 2 of them. He's pretty good going. So I'd expect him to do well in this competition. And then against Palace, the only thing that was worrying was the lack of scoring. That was the only thing that sort of worried us, wasn't it? Everywhere else, we looked pretty decent, I thought. Limited Crystal Palace, stacked that midfield. Going forward, opportunities were created and chances and stuff like that. We just couldn't put it in the back of the net. So if we could put a couple of them in the back of the net in the first half, I think we'll be fine. I think it'll be all right. It's just if we can do that.
We've got Richard in the chat saying no chance we can make the same mistakes as last season. I believe the Europa League has been favourable to us and we need to take advantage. We've got Chivy in the chat as well. Joshua Owen saying Mazraoui started for them in the home game against Bayern. Was an unused sub in the away game as well as the lit. So Joshua Owen there with the facts, and we'd love to see that. Chivy saying we're becoming a cup tournament team. No issues with that. I can see us going far in the Europa League. Yeah, what are our chances winning the Europa League, do you think? Are we one of the favourites?
I'd say we're up there. Like, let me get the league table up. I can't remember.
Yeah, keep that up as well because I've got a question later about potential teams in there. So
I know we're in it. Spurs are in it, I believe.
Yeah, 20. Is it 20 teams or 24?
Okay,
in our league.
Right, it's not giving me how many. It's just giving me a bunch of teams. Fucking irritating.
You want the table in it?
Yeah, alphabetical order: Ajax, Anderlecht, Atletico Bilbao, AZ Alkmaar, Besiktas, Bodo Glimt, Braga, Dinamo Kiev, Elfsborg, FC Bucharest, Fenerbahce, Benavides, Frankfurt, Galatasaray, Hoffenheim, Lazio, Ludogorets, Lyon, Maccabi Tel Aviv, Malmo, United, Midtjylland, Nice, Olympiacos, POAK, Porto, Karabag, Rangers, Real Sociedad, RFS, Roma, Slavia Prague, Tottenham, FC Twente, Union SG, and Victoria Plzen.
Yeah, so Spurs,
Porto, Roma.
Yeah, Porto, Roma. You know who else I'd throw in there as well? Mourinho with Fenerbahce.
They did get battered by Galatasaray the other night, didn't they?
I know, but Mourinho in these competitions, you've seen it with Roma, he went to the final, didn't he? And obviously
Galatasaray are in it as well. They could be an issue.
Galatasaray in it?
Yeah, Galatasaray in it.
Yeah.
And then you've obviously got Atletico Bilbao with Nico Williams. Could he drag them to that point and stuff? So there's a couple of teams in there that are like, okay, they could cause upsets. But then you've got teams like Bodo Glimt, Elfsborg, Ludogorets, Midtjylland, RFS, Union SG, Victoria. You should be putting them to the sword. Like, you should be beating them. Like, if you come up against them in the next round, you have to be beating them.
I have a feeling, I said it when we did our big season preview, that Spurs are going to go far in this. And I have no logic or anything to back it up. I feel like Spurs are going to go quite far, and we might meet them at some point, whether it's in the quarters or the semis. And I think Mourinho with Fenerbahce as well. So a couple of teams there to look out for. But the games we've got coming up, aside from Porto away, you'd probably say you should do the job on most of them. I mean, Bodo Glimt and teams like that, POAK, you need to be putting them to the sword, innit? And a chance for players to get confidence from that as well.
They are at similar levels of like Barnsley, aren't they? Essentially, like maybe a step
not too far away.
So if we're putting Barnsley 7-0 to the sword, you should expect that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And like those, if you're struggling with those, you're gonna have a long tournament. It's not gonna be a good tournament for you.
Yeah. Right, let's dive into some stats then. So these two teams have never met in a European competition before, at least what that's my kind of research said. FC Twente won their first and only Eredivisie title in 2009-2010 under what coach, Sam? Do you know?
Is it Eric Ten Hag?
No, it was
No.
someone else who's very close
Van Gaal?
to Eric Ten Hag. Nope. Just left United.
Oh, Van de Gaag.
Nope.
No. McLaren?
No. Yeah, Steve
Okay.
McLaren. And Ten Hag was his assistant as well.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously it was a historic moment for them as they narrowly beat Ajax by 1 point to win the championship. FC Twente in the 1974-75, they reached the final of the UEFA Cup, which is now the Europa League, but lost to Borussia Mönchengladbach. So that's just a little bit in terms of the history. They also reached the quarterfinals of the Europa League. And the player we were discussing last night, do you remember Quincy Promes when I did guest the player?
Yep.
He came through their academy. So just a little bit of little background there for you. And if we're taking it to modern times now, where are FC Twente at? So the fourth in the league on 11 points. They've got a new manager, Joseph Oosting, very talented, well regarded tactically. I have to be honest, I never heard of him before, but that's what journalists are saying. They had a good season last year, but a mixture of results at the start of this season, and they'd lost to Salzburg in the Champions League qualifiers, which is why they've dropped down to the Europa League. They've lost some important players as well, but still have a very good goalkeeper in Ernestal, so you know the crack with that, Sam.
Yeah.
He's going to have a worldie on Wednesday. Was it Ammonia the team that he played?
And he hadn't played for 2 years, and he was a United, fan, and he saved everything up until that last. Was it a Ronaldo penalty? I think
so. McTominay scored.
McTominay maybe. It was like 89 minutes or something.
Yeah, very late goal.
It's like you absolute bastard. And then didn't he give him didn't he give him a bottle of wine or something afterwards?
I think so.
Yeah.
Worldy Wednesday, that's what I'm expecting from the goalkeeper. It's supposed to be really, really good. It's a young team, it's inexperienced. And of course, we have the narrative that Eric Ten Hag played for FC Twente for 9 years, started as a player, then he retired, became head of academy, assistant manager, and then the head coach, and the rest is history. I'm weirdly excited about this game, and I don't know why. I don't know how you feel. Are you just couldn't give a fuck, or?
It's United. I always, on some level, I always look forward to United playing. Obviously, in recent history, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. So I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. I wouldn't say excited. It's not like we're playing Barcelona or anything, isn't it? So
that was nice though in the Europa League. Them
that
2
was
games
good.
that we
That
played.
was nice. Enjoyed that.
I really enjoyed that. And the new camp. It's always got that feel about it, hasn't it? But should we have the stance in this competition that we should be comfortably putting these teams away?
Yes.
Should the players be peacocking and feel like that? Even
I don't think you should be being complacent. I don't think you should be complacent and be like, oh, this would be easy. I think you need to take it seriously and be like, we need to make sure we're professional, early goals, put them to the bed quite easily, and then after that you can start experimenting with players, give players time, fringe players, that kind of stuff. You can't be complacent with this sort of stuff because that happened under Fergie a couple of times. Like players would get complacent. You know, in the Champions League when we play like in your group and you'd have like, I don't know, Deportivo La Coruña towards the end and stuff, and they just weren't that great. And then you'd get a bit thinking you'd end up losing like 1-0 or something for the last minute snatch and grab. So you can't be doing that. You need to make sure you take it seriously and make sure you play professionally. Because you saw at Barnsley, we got early goals, and then after that, they just sort of collapsed, didn't they? It was over, which I think most teams will do. So that's where you need to be aiming. Because if it's 0-0 and there's about 10 minutes left, it gets a bit sketchy, doesn't it? Gets a bit bum twitchy, a bit, I'm not really, like, you could snap something. That's where I think. So you need to make sure you put them away early. Otherwise, it could get a bit sort of nasty towards the end.
Yeah, Twente have an extremely loyal and loud fan base as well. So the away fans that are travelling there, you'll see the section. It's similar to Ammonia. I remember because I was at that game, and when we got in there like an hour earlier because I always like getting in and like watching the training drills and stuff. And I looked over, the crowd was so fucking loud because people forget
it's a big thing for them.
It's a massive. It's the biggest game of the season, isn't it? Really, of the year, of the whole career. Traveling to Manchester United, playing at Old Trafford, they don't experience those kind of things. So them coming over, they will have the absolute time of their lives, and they'll make it as loud as possible and as difficult as possible for the players. So, and sometimes in Europa League, equally on our side, can be a little bit quieter, can't it, Sam? Because people think, oh, it's a given, or it's FC Twente.
Well,
Not as loud.
They were trying to give away tickets for the Carabao Cup game, weren't they? Like they couldn't sell them. Like people would be able to buy 7 at a time. It was like they were trying to give them away. So Europa League sometimes suffers from that similar thing, especially if you play teams. FC Twente may be a upper level, like you said, Ammonia. It was the Moldovan team we played as well. Who were they? Can't remember.
Moldovan.
Yeah, Ronaldo scored a pen away to them. You remember? And then when he got off the bus, that kid ran towards him when he was getting off the bus.
Yeah, what? Wait, I'm gonna have to go back through the table. So it was 22-23 season, wasn't it? Yeah. So we had Sheriff.
That's the one. Yeah.
Sheriff. That's who it was. Yeah.
You like teams like that, and you're just like nobody really gives a shit. So it's just kind of you could.
Ronaldo versus Sheriff. It's crazy, isn't it?
Imagine him. It's like turning up in Moldova and going, where the fuck am I? Like, where is this? Like, just. So yeah, it's teams like that are kind of like, so when we get to like Bodo Glints and those kind of teams, it's kind of thing. But if you face teams like Rangers, there's a big history there with United, Scotland, and all that sort of stuff. Porto, back in the day, Champions League winners, the top team.
Mourinho sliding on his knees, didn't
exactly. So there's still some history there and stuff, but then with Bodo Glint and stuff, you kind of like, I get it. There's not as much prestige as you would feel in the Champions League, but for them, it's a great sort of match away, isn't it? Like Bodo Glimt going to Old Trafford to play Manchester United. They must be fucking buzzing. They must be loving it.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to the ones to watch. Who are you picking out for this game, Sam? Obviously, you haven't watched FC Twente, so I'll just stick with United.
It depends who gets a start, really, doesn't it? Like, I'm hoping Ugarte gets a start because I want to see him again. Cause you saw what did he get against Barnsley? Was it 79 minutes?
Yeah, played quite a bit.
So I would like to see more of him. That'd be interesting. Do we give some of the fringe players up front a chance? Does Anthony get an opportunity? People like that, do they get opportunities? I'll go with Ugarte because I want to see more from him because I think he will become my favourite player. So, yeah, I'll pick him.
I think it's going to be opportunity for Mason Mount or Højlund because there's more competition now for places and nearly everyone is fit. So they have to perform at the highest level to push their way back into the team. Sounds mad because Højlund was our starting striker every single game. But we look at how Xerxes performing. Maybe Højlund's a little bit like, okay.
And you got Rashford scoring, Garnacho was scoring as well. So it's like they're all scoring Rasmus lads. So you're gonna have to get yourself on the score sheet.
Yeah. And that's what you want, isn't it? Competition breeds success. We always say. I will say, keep an eye out for their keeper. I know I keep saying it. Wednesday night. Remember me saying this. He's gonna have a fucking world there.
Always happens. It always happens.
Oh, yeah. Right. Quick fire questions. Man United versus FC Twente in the Europa League at Old Trafford. Sam, will Twente score?
No.
Okay. I think I agree. I think we'll keep a clean sheet. Who is the toughest test in the Europa League? We've been through the teams there. Who's the team that you wouldn't want to get?
Of the ones we've already got, or like in the future?
No, just in the future. Somewhere along, down the tournament.
Should we just name Spanish teams? Sociedad. I don't want that. Definitely don't want that. That always fucking sucks.
Athletic Club.
Athletic Club Bilbao, that'd suck as well. Besiktas, we've not got great history there. Do you remember that? You remember that game? Besiktas. Was it Demba Ba? Is that who it was?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And he's just fucking in on goal.
Was that when Twanzebe, we had a set piece?
Yeah. All the way up the other end of the pitch. And
it's like unlocked a memory then.
Yeah, so they would not be great.
Even Porto away, who we've got already, Sam.
That's a tricky game.
Very tough game.
Roma away would be tough, I think. I don't like the idea of Roma away. Although they've just sacked their manager, so maybe it's a good time.
Manager bounce.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you remember that when we played teams and every single team we played had a new manager?
Unai Emery came in for one of the games. It was a cup game where they had a new manager.
Yeah, they'd be the ones I'd pick, I think. It'd be interesting to see if we played Nice, what would happen there. That'd be interesting.
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah, certainly a narrative in that one. There's a couple of games like that. So, Fenerbahce, I know I keep referencing them, but that's another one. I mean, have we got them away as well?
No,
We have.
is it Fenerbahce? Is it
Yeah,
not at
yeah,
home?
yeah.
Okay, I'll take your
No,
word
I'm
for it.
pretty sure. I thought it was away.
Okay, I'll take your word.
Uh,
I'll go to matches
I mean,
now.
yeah, have a look. Just double check. I thought it was in Turkey because that's the one I was looking at Porto away. I was like, oh god. But then no, I think you might be right. Mourinho coming back to Old Trafford, I'm sure was a narrative that we was talking about.
United.
I'm pretty sure. Oh man, United.
No, I don't want the table. I want the fucking fixtures. You piece.
Does anyone know in the chat?
Why is this website so difficult, man? This is ridiculous.
I'll go to the comments whilst you're looking. Maybe an idea, Brian. I was thinking play Ahmad as a 10, give Xerxes freedom on the right. Evening, lads, just joined. You seen the United announcement? Yeah, we could briefly touch over it towards the end of the preview. We have put it in. We've seen the updates around the area in the stadium. Roma could be in trouble. It's from Richard. Josh Rowan saying no, it's away.
Okay.
Oh, so it is away.
Fair
Interesting.
enough.
Yeah. Right, back to quickfire anyway, because it's gone more than quickfire. Will Xerxes score or assist?
Assist, yeah.
I don't think he's going to start, so I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Favorite Dutch player ever?
Ever? Jesus.
And that's a question to the chat as well, guys. Who's your favorite player from the Netherlands? I think I know who you'd say, but
I've got two.
Can I try and guess one of them?
Go on.
Iron Robin?
No. He's a great player. Great player.
I thought you would have gone with Robin. Don't know why.
I'd go like Edgar Davids or Clarence Seedorf.
Davids.
One of those
Seedorf.
Between those two.
Between
them two. One of those two,
yeah.
I think. Yeah. I know Van Persie's up there as well.
Jesus Christ, yeah. I didn't even think about Van Persie either. All these players. When I think of Dutch players, I go back to the day. Like I had Bergkamp.
Bergkamp's
I
good
love
one.
Dennis Bergkamp.
Overmars.
Overmars, another player. Nostalgic, very nostalgic. But I'd have to go Van Persie because I can't miss him out. Prediction for man of the match Wednesday night.
Casemiro plays. I'll say Casemiro.
Yeah, I'll say one of the two, Casemiro or Ugarte. I'll go with that. Okay, let's do predicted 11s then, Sam. Yep. Who's up first?
Yourself.
Myself. Onana, Mazraoui, De Ligt, Lissandro, Dalot, the typical back five. More rhythm, more patterns, more consistency. Ugarte and Casemiro, as I alluded to before, I think will be the European kind of midfield partnership. With Bruno Fernandes just ahead of him, because I think Eriksen's played 3 or 4 games in a row, so I can't see him starting another one, or you might just actually end him. So I think he needs to be on the bench. And then the front three, I'd go Antony, because he's chomping at the bit. Obviously played against Barnsley, so that's a bit of a wild card in there. Højlund also a bit of a wild card up top. And then Marcus Rashford, because Garnacho played the last one, so I think, again, they're going to rotate and put Rashford back in there.
Interesting. I have gone pretty much the same, but my front line's different. So obviously, I think the back five stays the same. In midfield, I think Ugarte gets another opportunity. I think Casemiro comes into that 8 because I think I like that combination. I'd like to see it again. Bruno starts because he does. But I think he's going to want a win in this first game just to sort of get the 3 points on the board and start with a win. So I think he's going to go with the front three that he's tried and tested: Ahmad, Xerxes, Rashford. And then if we're 2-0 up, 3-0 up at some point, I'm sure all three of them will come off. Garnacho will come on, Antony will come on, Højlund will come on. And I'm sure Bruno will come off from Mount or something like that. I'm sure you'll see that rotation if we say it's 55, 60 minutes and we're 2-3-0 up. I'm sure you'll see that rotation happen. But yeah, I think he's going to go strong to get these 3 points on the board. And then I think in games against like Bodo, Glint and stuff like that, you might see a bit more rotation. But the first game, I think he's going to want to go strong.
Is that too strong? Not just yours, I mean mine as well. Is that, could you rotate a little bit more?
You probably could. Like, you could probably, I think Ugarte would be good because it's a good game for him to get minutes in his legs. Casemiro didn't play the last game. So you'd say, okay, he plays. Bruno, you could rotate and put Mount in there. He wants to come back. Xerxes, you could rotate and put Højlund in there. Ahmad, you could rotate, put Antony in there. Do you play start Garnacho again over Rashford? Like, do you do that? Centre backs, could you put Maguire in there? Could you like Lissandro De Ligt in?
one. I was when we were doing our predicted 11s. I was like, maybe, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
he'll rest Elite Trot. But I'm constantly thinking about. He always talking about patterns in it and rhythm,
partnerships and stuff like that.
partnerships.
And then
So
fullbacks wise, you don't seem to trust Hariyama, so I just don't see him
no,
switching anybody there. And I'd love to see Bayinde get an opportunity, but again, don't see it. I just don't see it.
yeah. Josh Rowan with the facts. I always love stuff like this. So if you ever have any facts or stats that we don't know, always put them in the chat. I'd always encourage it. Sem Stein for them is the one to watch. He's a midfielder. Got 6 goals and 1 assist in 6 games, apparently. So he's a standout one. So yeah, keep an eye on him heading into that game. Score predictions, Sam. I have a feeling we're going to have a very similar one in this one. Do you want to go first?
I'm a bit more positive, so I'll go 3-0.
3-0? That's more positive than mine.
Yeah.
I've gone 2-0.
Okay.
Yeah. Who scores?
Rashford, Casemiro on a set piece, and then I think Garnacho comes off the bench and gets one.
Interesting. I'll go. I think it's about time Bruno Fernandes got a fucking goal.
That'd be nice.
He needs to score. That'd be nice. And I'll go with a wild one off the bench. I don't know who. Maybe an Anthony or something like that. Potentially. Yeah, that's how wild I'm going. I said it last time though, when Anthony scored, to be fair, against Barnsley. So, yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'm over egging it slightly. What do we think, guys? Is it Varkov van Basten? That's from Richard. I mean, way before my time, to be honest. I think the year you was born, Sam, he scored that belter in the Euros. 88. Yeah, when they won the Euros. 3-0 United, says Josh. Make sure you guys, obviously I know some of you are going to be watching this later on as well, so make sure you get them in the comments. You score predictions if you want to, kind of jump in with the quick fires as well. And yeah, any other kind of opinions that you have on the game. A little bit of news coming in, Sam, just before we went live. Manchester United's regeneration of Trafford Park with a new stadium at its heart could be worth 7.3 billion per year to the UK economy. The plans would deliver huge growth, including 92,000 new jobs, 17,000 new homes, and 1.8 million visitors to the area per year. Can only be a positive thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe there's a third part of that article where they're not taking any public funding, which is what everybody was worried about, and people were using to slap Ineos with and United fans with. It's like, it's clear they're not taking any money. It's all coming from either sponsorships or Ineos' own pocket, which is what we wanted. Didn't want more debt. We didn't want more stuff added onto the club. And obviously taxpayers don't want to pay for it either, which is fair. So I think, it's great news. It's moving forward. I hope everybody got their survey questions in and got their say in, because that's important. So yeah, I'm interested to see how it goes. I saw a model. I don't know how true it was that was put out. The regeneration. I'm hoping that that's not how the stadium looks, because that's not happy with that. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's at very, very early stages. So let's give it time. Let's give the architects time to sort of work on something more substantial. But yeah, happy with the progress so far. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you know what though? I'm just looking at this picture here, which is like the closer one. And it reminds me a bit, the Allianz by Munich Stadium. I think it looks like that quite a bit.
I'd be all right with that one.
Yeah, I actually don't mind Allianz. I'm just pulling it up now, just double check them. Yeah, I really like that stadium. I think that's gorgeous. And you got the whole kind of light up as well around it. If it's like that, I'd be fine. I just don't want it to look fucking like AI, like you say, AI generated it.
AI generated bedpan, stainless steel bedpan. Like a lot of those. There was a couple in Qatar, the ones they built that were actually quite cool. Like the one that was made out of shipping crates was quite cool.
Yeah.
And then there was one of them that looked like an AI bedpan, and I was just like, "There's been no imagination, no soul put into this." And well, workers died on it, so probably there is a couple of souls in it, but unfortunate ones.
Oh yeah.
So I just think, I hope there's some effort and some history and some nods to the past and stuff like that put into it. I think that would be nice, and I hope fans have had their say on that and make sure they've mentioned that on their surveys.
I mean, Brian's saying worth watching the announcement video from United. I haven't seen it myself personally. I've been quite busy today, but I'll check that out for sure. A couple more score predictions flowing through. 3-0 United. We want to see Bruno rested, play Xerxes in behind Højlund. 5-0 United, Xerxes for a hat-trick, which would be very, very nice. Yeah, it's an opportunity. Opportunity for minutes, opportunity for goals, an opportunity to really kind of stamp the fact that you're United and you're here and you're ready to, go far in this tournament. So hopefully United go and do that. I will be live for the game, so make sure you come and join us on Wednesday. Of course, a couple of days until we do kick off, so we'll have the usual kind of stuff from news shows and a few more other bits dropping. Need to film a members video at some point, which we'll sort out for you guys. So I appreciate you consistently supporting the channel and showing love as always. Make sure you turn on the notification bell, drop us a follow on socials. And yeah, me and Sam will see you guys in the next one, I suppose.
Peace.
In a bit.